Hello and welcome to the Art of Spiritual Sleep. My name is Wendy Rosenthal and I am your host along with Kabbalistic sleep and dream expert Mordechay Balas. Mordechay, welcome. How are you today?
I'm great, excited to be here. How are you, Wendy?
I'm fantastic, actually. I had a good night's sleep, but maybe that's something
That's
to do with
good.
it.
Me too.
So today's episode is called The Battle of the Body and the Soul. Sounds a little ominous, sounds a little scary, but Mordecai is going to explain all about it to us because this is the next step as we're building that foundation in our understanding of the importance of sleep and their following on from that dreams. But before we get started, I want to remind everybody that at the end of the episode, you want to stick around because we have two great features. One is called The Language of Dreams and the Symbol of the Week, where Mordecai shares to you another symbol that we often see in our dreams so you can start to interpret your own dreams. And also we give you something to sleep on because we really want you to be able to build up your ability to have the highest quality sleep and therefore the clearest dreams to help guide you in your awake life. And we also want to remind you that we love to hear your questions and comments, so please feel free to ask away in the comment section on these pages. If we don't get to your question in this episode, don't worry. We always come back and take a look and we'll endeavor to answer your questions. All right, the battle is on, Mordecai. Body, soul, what's the deal?
So the Kabbalists teach us that there are two energies within us. And actually, it's not just within us, it's everywhere. Two consciousness levels within us. One is the body consciousness, and one is the soul consciousness. The body consciousness desires to take. Feed me, wash me, I want a massage, I want to go out, take care of me, coffee. It's also everything that is related to the being self-observed. It can be fears and judgments and worries and doubts and over-analyzing and thinking about the past and worrying about the future. Bottom line, reactive. While the consciousness of the soul is pretty much the opposite. Desires to share, to create an impact in the world, to live up to my purpose, to make a difference, to bring a positive impact even to the people that I interact with, to listen, to treat other people with human dignity, and sometimes even more, to love, to go outside of our nature. And actually to go outside of our comfort zone really makes the soul consciousness happy. So throughout the day, there's a constant, those two forces are within us. By the way, everything, right? Even this object, which we also used last time, right? Yeah. It has a body and soul. Of course, internal and external. Everything has the internal. Of course, this is not a human being, so it has less of this energy. But everything, even objects, animals, have soul consciousness and body consciousness. Yes, lower than human beings, but they still have it.
Mordecai, I have lots of questions already. My first one is, you talk about the body consciousness and the soul consciousness, and for me, it sounded like the body consciousness is kind of like our physical body. But when you talked about soul consciousness, I know I wake up in the day and I share a little bit here and there, so it sounded kind of like the body consciousness was all bad. Is that true?
Well, no, because the body consciousness is the highest level within the physicality of us, but it's not a physical thing. When do we use it that it's actually really, really good? We use it when we come to defend ourselves. It's like the animal instinct. Mm-hmm. And I'll share a story that happened to me recently about, I was driving with my daughter. I was taking her from one place to another. And in the middle of the road, there was like a red light. A woman came and stopped me from driving just before it was green light. And she asked to enter my car and asked me to take her to another place, which is like surreal, like it's like from a movie, like a strange, like stranger woman just coming up, stopping the car. I want to get in and I need money for my child. So the animal instinct would immediately like defend, right? Like if it's like a weirdo in the street, you would take, especially when you're with your child, you would go like to the other side of the street or avoid it, or you're already ready to defend. But here, first it kicked in, of course, and it did felt weird, like throughout the journey, but I did actually take her. And yes, there was like throughout this time, this sort of adrenaline, like the body consciousness is there to guard us, you know? But at the end, when I dropped her off, which I wouldn't usually do something like this, but I really felt it's the right thing. So at the end, I felt good, and that's the soul consciousness.
Okay, so the body consciousness and the soul consciousness, we can be aware of both. It's not just saying that it's not really
Right.
the physical body. It's more about the energy of what the body represents versus what the soul represents.
Yes. So
Right.
the body is there to protect our being, our life, right? Like to protect us from negativity in the physical reality. Like it's not the time when you are, let's say, crossing the street, and it's not the time to cross the street, and you say, you know, well, I trust the Creator, everything is going to be okay, and you just cross with your eyes closed. This is not right. So the body consciousness keeps us alert to protect us. But when it doesn't, it's actually draining our energy. Because all day, if it's not for the right reasons, those two forces are pulling us, each one in their direction. And obviously, we are here for our soul. We are here to live up to our purpose. It's like, imagine our body is like a rental car. You didn't rent the car for the sake of renting the car. You rent the car so you can go somewhere.
Right.
So the soul rented the body so it can go in the road and reveal stuff, reveal things in the world. Without the body, the soul cannot do that, or it's limited.
Oh, so it's important. So, okay, if it's so important, I know you're going to tell us about the battle, but maybe I should let you tell us first, and then I'll ask my question.
So, so the idea is because those two forces keep on pulling us in opposite direction every day. Like, how many times do we get like a woman getting to our car, a stranger, and we get to drive her, you know? I don't remember ever that it happened to me, you know, just once, right? So, but usually throughout the day, it's you know, I want to receive just for me. I want this food, I want this, I want this. And the soul is in the soft voice, like pulling to the other direction. This stuff is what wears us out. That's why that's the reason, and Kabbalah teaches us why, the why behind things. That's the reason why we get tired. And that's why the Kabbalists understand this, and they share it with us, that because if you manage throughout the day to listen more to your soul consciousness, and act more from your soul, you will be more energized throughout the day, and you will need less sleep, and actually your sleep will be more with quality. So it's three elements: less tired, more energized, and even when you're sleeping, your soul doesn't have the baggage that it accumulated throughout the day. Boom, it just goes up. It doesn't need to release any I don't know, bags of sand. So the idea, yeah. So the idea is really to be able, and by the way, there are Kabbalistic techniques that allow you, which we'll get to it later on, to release those bags of sand. But if you can release it throughout the day, and you can have also greater dreams, greater sleep, why not?
it sounds like, I mean, it doesn't sound like, I can tell you from my own personal experience, trying to hear my soul during the day, kind of instructing me, is really very difficult, right? So it kind of begs the question, like, why does the body consciousness and the soul consciousness have to be at battle, and why can't we hear that voice of our soul more often?
Well, we actually learn it from our experience, you know. Even if you try one day to listen more to your soul, and yes, it's not easy, and yes, practice makes perfect. I give you like 2-3 things that you can just do throughout the day, even though it's not part of our something to sleep on for today. But try even for a minute, just to with your 2 fingers. Sometimes we do that. Right? You try to close your ears, right? So at that time, you become more like self-aware. Or if you feel more advanced, not that more advanced, but you can close your eyes and just pay close attention to your breathing. But usually even putting earplugs, it makes us suddenly look inside. It makes us... Yeah, it's a physical way to listen more to the voice within. It's usually a soft voice, the voice of the soul. It's like not like screaming out loud. Like, you know, I wouldn't do that. It's like very delicate. The voice of the body consciousness is usually very strong and loud. That's how you differentiate between the voices. So I guess you start with learning to differentiate who's really talking.
But again, why, there must be a spiritual reason why the balance is so off between the body consciousness voice and the soul consciousness voice.
Right. It's because we want to keep, from the creator point of view, from the divine plan, we want to keep the game interesting. Imagine that your voice of the, it would be actually the opposite. The voice of your soul would be so strong and loud and clear. And the voice of your body consciousness would be like, you know, I want ice cream. You know, I really want a foot massage. You know? It's like, so obviously, we would be listening to the voice of our soul. And by the way, don't get me wrong, it's not that you shouldn't have a good foot massage or have like enjoy a certain food, or you should do that because also that makes the soul happy. When you cross the line of like, it's becoming like you become attached. I need this, you know, that's already not balanced. So that is actually draining the battery of this, but the battery of the soul, and it needs a recharge, and it does the recharge through the sleep. And by the way, when we do get angry, upset, reactive, grab something, worry, it does give us energy rush at that moment.
Yeah,
you know, I don't know someone like angry and they're like, I'm not getting anything from it. You know, I don't have any energy. Like, I don't find someone that is angry, but you don't experience their anger. So even if it's passive aggressive. So even if it's anger, it's not, you get the energy rush, but it's not lasting.
right.
And
Like
the
a short
soul,
term
when you listen to the soul consciousness, it's long lasting. And of course, it's a vicious cycle or a magical cycle. Vicious cycle if you listen more today to the body consciousness. Yes.
Wait, don't give everything away. That's an episode coming up.
Right.
No, finish
I'm just
what you're
giving, yeah.
Go
It's my
ahead.
desire to share.
I know. Okay, so where you were leading was the fact that, like, all of this is going to the point of that the soul needs to be recharged, and that is a metaphysical process. That's a metaphysical process
Right.
that we've started to discuss over the last few weeks, right?
Yes.
But what you're saying is that metaphysical requirement for the soul is as strong, maybe even stronger, you let us know, than the physical requirement for sleep.
I would say it's actually 99% of the physical requirement to sleep, because our soul is like a battery. This is the real battery. And yes, sometimes you need to do things that are physical to charge your battery, like hobbies and things you like to do. But when you do those hobbies, those physical things, it's actually charging your soul. It makes you happy. So, and again, this is from the point of view of the Kabbalist, if you have a day that today your soul consciousness won over your body consciousness, you're gonna have better sleep and you're gonna need less sleep. And you see it with the Kabbalist. I remember my teacher, Rav Berg, again, don't try this at home, okay? But because my teacher was so elevated, the soul consciousness was 100% winning every single day. And again, it's something that can be attained. It's not reserved just for the master Kabbalist. My teacher almost, in certain cases, didn't sleep 1 month throughout the year, which is one of the most important months, the month of Virgo, which is really a month of cleansing. My teacher used the not sleeping to defy the energy of death, as we learned before, and to cleanse the world from any negativity. So again, this is something that we can all reach, that you will need to have 4 or 5 hours of sleep instead of 7, 8, not from a physical perspective, that your body needs less sleep, is from a soul perspective, that you have charged your soul so much during the day, you charge the battery by sharing, by giving, by living up to your purpose, then you don't need to have so much of a recharge when you go to sleep. So if my phone battery is 90% at the end of the day, I need to charge it just 10 more percent. But if it's 20%, I need to charge it more.
But you still need that sleep, right? Even if you're
Yes.
almost, let's say you're charged up 99% because you've been really working on your soul consciousness during the day. Metaphysically, you still need that
Right.
1%. You still need to
Right.
go to sleep because there's a process that happens, right? When you sleep,
Yes.
that kind of takes the charge all the way up, right?
Yes, and it's interesting because I once asked my teacher, Rav Berg, about King David. He was very unique. He lived 70 years. According to the Kabbalist, he was supposed to die at birth. But Adam, from the story of Adam and Eve, saw in divine inspiration that King David will need energy of life, and he gave him 70 years from his life. So King David, in order to take advantage of every moment, and he didn't want to connect to the energy of death by going to sleep, he did not sleep more than 60 breathings of a horse. I never measured how long it takes for a horse to
We don't suggest
breathe
that you do
60
that either at
times.
home.
Yeah, but I'm guessing it's not a long time. Maybe like King David was like dozing off and then like waking up. So I asked my teacher, like, it doesn't make sense. How could he do that for 70 years? Can you imagine 70 years not sleeping at all? So my teacher, Rav Berg, explained to me that this was a generation on a very high vibration and spiritual level, that what David actually needed was whatever, let's say it's 15 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes. King David just needed those 20 minutes to do a full recharge. And today, I can share with you that there are Kabbalistic techniques, not for the long term, like I don't believe you can do it like for a month, but let's say if you had a night that you didn't sleep so much, there's a technique that maybe I'll share it in a later episode. There's a technique that with 15 minutes, sometimes even less, during the day, you can charge your soul instead of the night sleep that you missed.
Wow. Okay, so there's ways to There's ways to deal with it, but the bottom line is that not only do we need physical sleep, but we need
Yeah.
metaphysical sleep.
You can't do it in a long term. You can't do like a month. I mean, I don't advise doing it unless you're really, really in a high spiritual level to do it like every single night.
And also the technique where you were talking about how the Kabbalists would stay up all night to kind of break that death consciousness. Also, it's not something they did every single day. You know, that as you explained it, that is a way for you to overcome and break that body consciousness in a way. But you only do it at certain times because the energy has to be correct. But it's a great tool when it is the right time.
Right. And you can use your phone as a metaphor, really, that I think many people charge their phone during the night while they're sleeping, so then they can use it throughout the day.
Right.
And think about it, that sometimes during the day you use your phone so much that you need to charge it in between meetings, let's say. So in a similar way, if your phone didn't have a good charge, like you didn't have a good sleep, then throughout the day there are ways to charge it a little bit, to give it a boost.
To give it a boost. And at the end of the day, the value of the soul consciousness winning in our life over the body consciousness is that when the soul consciousness edges out the body consciousness, then we bring more fulfillment to our life. Is that the point?
Yes. Yes. And it's really shifting your energy because you become, it's like my father-in-law back then used to be chubby and he lost a lot of weight. Maybe, I don't know exactly how much, but maybe 60 pounds. And I asked him, how did you do it? He said, I shift my consciousness from, and again, this is the idea, there are two modes, right? Am I living to eat or am I eating to live? And when you shift your consciousness, similarly in terms of your soul, who's running the show? Is it your body consciousness? And the soul is like, get to drive it here and there. But when your soul is running the show, and again, I'm giving here an extreme example, like Rabbi Akiva, the teacher of Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, the author of the Zohar, was so elevated that while he was teaching and sharing the wisdom of Kabbalah, he suddenly would tell his body, oh, I see you hungry. All right, let me give you something.
Right.
And we'll continue on. But it wasn't like, I'm starving. It wasn't like Rabbi Akiva said, I'm starving, I'm hungry. Not I. Oh, I see that you are hungry. Okay, let me take care of you. Because still, you know, you are my vehicle. So I need to fuel my vehicle. So you reach a place that I'm taking care of my body because it's my vehicle. You wouldn't go and crash your car, right? But not to a degree that it's like all day I'm just washing the car and taking the car to be checked, and that's already, I'm wasting my day.
All right, so I think that we all have a vested interest in winning the battle with the body consciousness and the soul consciousness to tip to the soul side, and using sleep as a tool for that is why we're all here, to hear from you how to do that. So I'm very much looking forward to that in future episodes.
And by the way, you know, some of us might think, you know, why do you call it a battle? Because really, it is a fight.
It is.
It is a fight every single day. You know, if you become more aware of your two aspects of desires, it is a fight. Some people have guilt for years about choices that they've made that they succumb to their body consciousness. And they go to therapy and different things to release that energy. So it is a battle. You know, I know that sometimes the battle has a negative connotation, but we can look at it from the positive way that if you win this fight, every day you win this fight, you get rewarded. Right. And it was designed this way so you can receive more from life. So the game will be interesting.
And if we can use the tool of sleep and dreams to help us do that, it's something we do, as we said last week, it's something we all do every day. So it's just using it in a more efficient, better, beneficial way to us.
Right.
All right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, that's
That's the
why
idea.
when we get to the something you sleep on, everybody's going to want to take note. But before we do that, let's talk the language of dreams. And the
Yes.
dream symbol of the week is?
Baby, a baby. So when you dream about a baby, it's very simple, right? Like, I mean, we would think that a baby brings happiness, right? And beauty and joy to the family, which is true in the physical reality. But as we explained that many times in the upper worlds, in the metaphysical reality, it might actually be the opposite. So if you're dreaming that you have a new baby, baby means new process. Okay? If you're dreaming, by the way, that you're pregnant, or you as the man dreaming about your spouse that they're pregnant, or someone close to you that are pregnant, pregnancy is the beginning of the new process. It still didn't start, but it's the beginning. But if it's already a baby, I delivered a baby, I saw a baby, I was holding a baby, replace the word baby with a new process. If the baby has blue eyes, that means that there's someone that is jealous at you in your process, that is actually giving you the evil eye. And it's important really to be aware and to protect your baby, to protect your process, not to talk about it with just everyone, really to keep it until it's fully manifested, to really guard it, as we explained before. Like if Yosef Tzaddik, Joseph the righteous, the son of Jacob, wouldn't have told his brothers the dreams that he had, he would probably manifest him becoming the ruler of the land way faster than 22 years. So, which is again another story. So baby is a new process, blue eyes, something to watch, but the baby is also, you know, sometimes people say, how did you sleep? Oh, I slept like a baby. If you have a child, you know that babies don't really sleep
Don't sleep at all.
so good, right? They wake up in the middle of, what do you mean I slept like a baby? So this comes to also tell us that when you see a baby in a dream, it is a new process, but it's not necessarily going to be easy. It's a red flag. Just to be aware, it's a new process, but also get ready because it might be, it looks like it's going to be challenging.
Okay, but it's great because you
It's
get
a
that
good
warning.
thing, it's a new thing, but just be alert, be ready to face whatever it is that.
I like the fact that you can get warnings through your dreams. Not warnings in a negative way, but warnings to like keep so that you can be aware. That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. And then something to sleep on this week.
So something to sleep on, we want to give you already the ability to prepare your vessel, to prepare your capacity to receive more from dreams related to the soul versus body consciousness. We're going to use this later on as a technique. So it's important you start to practice on it. So you choose one day in this coming week, it can be any day that is convenient to you. And we said also one day because if you do it for a week, it might be hard to do it for a week. But if you feel you can do it more than once a day, great. More than once a week, great. So for one day at least, you keep score. Body consciousness versus soul consciousness. And at the end of the day, so let's say, you know, I really wanted this type of food, or I couldn't take this meeting anymore. I had to leave, you know, and I left. Or like I was busy with how he told me, what he said, how am I looking. So just write down, like maybe do 2 tables or like I don't know, like on a piece of paper or write it on your phone or record it. So at the end of the day, you can look and keep score and see who won that day. and it's starting to be more aware of this game, and you'll be also more aware of the voice of your soul and the voice of the body consciousness. And by the way, if you hear this voice telling you, you know, let this woman, give a ride to this woman, right? And it's a soft voice, but then you hear your body consciousness saying like, no, it's, you know, we have to go somewhere. Not like I'm concerned that I might be in danger. That's something else. But if you want to do, you feel like sharing, but the body consciousness is like, hey, you know. So write down, depends on what you decided to do. So if you went with the body consciousness, write down it was the body. If it was the soul and you did something about it, write down as a victory for the soul.
It sounds like an easy exercise, but one I'm sure will be quite
yes, it takes you to be
challenging,
really
but you have to really be
fully
aware of
aware.
what you're doing. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
And please let us know your score. You know, write to us 10 to 2, 20 to 5. It was even, whatever.
I can't wait to hear. And the way you write to us is by joining our Facebook group, The Art of Spiritual Sleep, and checking in on all the comments, or on our Instagram page at Art of Spiritual Sleep. On both places, that's where you'll find all of the Something to Sleep On content that we provide, all of the little insights that we are talking about, and you can see what other people are doing in terms of their sleeps and dreams. So we really hope that you check us out there. Also, as we said at the beginning of the show, that Mordechay is a Kabbalistic sleep and dream expert. If you have any questions for him, want a dream interpretation, or you want some sleep coaching so you can not only help your soul consciousness win during the day, but you can help your body sleep at night, you can reach Mordechay at dreams@kabbalah.com for more information about that. Thank you, Mordechay, as always, and we will be back next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
My pleasure. Enjoy, good night, and sleep tight.